Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. I am your host Migs here with my co-host Charlie, and in today's episode, we are gonna chat about Funkoween halfway to Hallow's Eve.
And make sure you smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. Now let's chat Funkoween.
All right, let's chat about Funkoween now. So we're gonna talk about the event, which is called officially Funkoween halfway to Hallow's Eve, which Funko usually always does this. So this is essentially kind of their big announcement of like fall pops and Halloween style pops and like pops that are gonna come out later in the year. So none of this stuff is like out now, but we have gotten some rumors. We did get like we'll go over. I'll show up a picture, but we'll go over kind of like the big licenses that we have that we know will be part of this. There was some rumors and like leaks of actual pop specific to some of these lines, which have been taken down for obvious reasons, but we just kind of wanted to go over just maybe a little bit of the line that things that we remember seeing in that list, and mostly the licenses around what's going to be dropping for Funkoween. Now, officially, this is going to be dated. I think it's what, the 17th to the 19th. I think
Yes.
is like the actual announcements. So we're looking at. So if you guys are listening this week, you'll be seeing it. If you guys are actually watching, these things will be dropping officially. So we are recording this on the 15th. So the reason being, we don't know exactly what's coming out. That's why. So we're gonna kind of just give you our take on like what we think may be coming out, what we're kind of excited for based off of the things that we heard, and just the licenses in general when it comes to that stuff. But right off the bat, I'm a huge fan of Funkoween, and whenever they talk about this, obviously being a huge horror fan, huge fan of Halloween and the holiday. There's a lot of licenses that are
Lot.
rumored for this, and not even just rumored. Like we said before, we've seen a lot of these official like lines coming out and what's going to be dropping. Right off the bat, one of the big ones is the Universal Monsters, which we are getting them in Blacklight. When we spoke about before, so we did see one picture, which was official, which was a Frankenstein one. But we are supposed to be getting the rest of them. We're going to be getting Dracula and the Creature of Black Lagoon, like all the Mummy, like maybe Wolfman. I don't know. I don't know if it's every single Universal monster, but I know that there's a line
Yeah,
of
I
just
think it's
them.
most of them.
Yeah, and it's just a wave of them and being Blacklight. But I think you had mentioned this at one point, like that these probably will look amazing in the Blacklight. Already the Frankenstein looks super cool. So I think the colors and stuff will probably lend
They're perfect.
really well to Blacklight. But
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on those?
no, I completely agree. I'm really excited. I don't have any of the Walgreens exclusives of like what these molds are based off of. Like they're pops I've kind of want, but like
Mm-hmm.
I never really find anything in Walgreens. They never really put anything on the site. And I have just never gone to like I don't want them bad enough to like go to Whatnot or eBay. So I am excited about these, even though like we said, we think they're Walgreens exclusives again. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to be hard to get. But I think they look really cool. I actually think they're one of the better black lights that are being made. Even as like a huge Marvel fan, like to me, these like lend better to blacklight than just randomly blacklighting every Marvel character in the MCU.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, some of the MCU ones look really cool, the colors pop and everything, but I agree in the sense that these like just fit the theme of Blacklight essentially, and like the colors probably will look even better. But yeah, that was one of the like licenses that I saw right away that I was very excited about, and being able to see at least one shot of what one of them looks like, which is the Frankenstein, got me even more excited.
Yeah.
Um,
Something that I'm like super excited about is Haunted Mansion. So Disney's got a bunch of things that are going to be part of this license, but I think one of the rumors was we're getting Haunted Mansion sodas. I think one of the
oh
Hitchhiking Ghosts is going to be one of the first
yes,
ones. I mean, that's one of my favorite Disney rides of all time. I actually collect Haunted Mansion stuff outside of just Funko. Like, I need these. Like, I'm super pumped, and I actually like in the past Funko Weed. Sometimes it's like they've announced products that are part of the like celebration that aren't necessarily like Halloweenish, if that makes
Yeah, yeah.
sense. Where like it seems like most of the stuff this year really does, trickle down to being, you could consider it Halloween. So I'm excited about that. And I think we're getting a few sodas, which I know right up your alley, like Ghostface, I think we're going to be getting
Yes.
during this. I'm not sure if Michael Myers is one of them. Like we're going to get some pretty good sodas during this, which I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and those are the ones I've always talked about being like the ones I want to be made for like months now, a year now. I've been always saying like if they make sodas, they need to make more horror sodas. I think they do an amazing job with the horror sodas they already have. So I've been always excited for this. And yeah, Ghostface is supposed to be one of them right off the bat. That'll be like announced. I think potentially maybe there's some leprechaun stuff. I don't know if there was exactly sodas or just pops, but those are some things that like were said to be like coming out. Yeah, Michael Myers. So like hopefully we do get all these sodas. I think they will look so sick if we do get them, and they're going to be ones I'm going to be very excited to try to grab. Um, Along the lines with more like horror related stuff, we are getting, I believe this is where we will get the Halloween movie poster.
Yes.
So we now at this point have only seen one, which is Jurassic Park. That's actually a movie poster versus the VHS and those other
Covers.
styles covers. So if we get the Halloween one, I think that's going to be amazing. I mean, that iconic, like pumpkin with the face and the knife, like that look is so cool. So I think getting that is going to be pretty sick for sure. But I'm just excited to see what a lot of these things like look like mostly. But like you said, yeah, there's a lot of sodas, a lot of pops, but it is very, it's whether it's like an actual horror movie or scary or whatever, or it's just like they took, for instance, like Star Wars. This is where they're gonna get like the Day of the Dead. It fits into the Halloween
Yeah.
theme, even though Star Wars is in like Halloween. So like they're doing a really good job of that. And then another one, this is a huge one that I think was something we saw the list of, and there's an excessive amount of this, and it is the Nightmare Before Christmas Blacklight. So Blacklight obviously is a pretty big theme with this because, as we know, for the Freddy Fright Night or whatever it's
Yep.
called, which event is going to be like Blacklight themed. So I guess a lot of these maybe will be dropping during that as well. And Nightmare Before Christmas, there's like 20
It's insane.
items or more, and they're all Blacklight. And it's
Sodas,
like
pops,
pops, sodas,
plushies,
yeah,
keychains.
keychains, all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot. It's a line that like I feel like I understand why they're doing Blacklight, and I feel like some of them will look cool, but it's just like it's such bad timing for them because we're already inundated with so much Blacklight. Some people are kind of over Blacklight because they're just doing a lot of things, and now we're gonna get this. It's gonna probably seem like overkill, and they're doing so many versions of the characters and so many different ones versus just like maybe the Universal monsters might be 5 or 6 max type
Yeah.
characters. We're gonna get like 20 plus in Blacklight for this damn thing. I don't know about
It's
that.
no, it's ridiculous. I mean, I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and like I'll probably get the Jack Pop and move on. Like
Mhm.
I want one from it, and it's way too much. And like it's funny, they already, I don't know if they were supposed to come out already, but Hot Topic exclusive, like they had like the mini keychains, a 2-pack between Jack and Sally that
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
can
think
get
those did
already.
come out.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
already
that
came
two
out.
pack I think came out, which is
Um,
weird that that came out by itself.
totally weird. So that gives you kind of a taste of what they'll look like. And yeah, I mean, not to repeat what you said, but it's awesome and cool, but they're totally overdoing it. I think I wish these came out sooner. Like this, between this and the Universal Monsters, like they were much better ones to have started off with. Even like I'm looking right now, like the Batman animated series one. I obviously love Batman more than I love these franchises, but like they didn't need to have those in blacklight. Like it just,
Mhm.
it's interesting that they started off with comic book characters. Not this is a
Yeah.
blacklight episode. It's just interesting. It's that they did that versus thinking of these horror elements. Like that's why I think the Stranger Things ones are cool, even though I
Yeah.
do think they're the least popular out of the line. I think you can still get them.
Mhm.
So, but Yeah, I mean, though, the real question is back to something you mentioned already. Are you going to get the Halloween movie poster?
I know, man. I feel like I kind of need to, and like like the Jurassic Park one is cool, but I think like my love and everything
Yep.
for the Halloween specific one and horror, just like, and the thing is, like, I know for a fact I would get that, and I have nowhere to put it. That's like a piece that I will have. And one day, which hopefully soon, I buy a house and I'm able to get like a theater room and I'm able to get like what I really want, that'll be up on that wall.
Well,
And that's where I would display it like that. Like that's why I would want to get it, because of that. Because otherwise, it's just going to be a giant box that's just sitting in a corner somewhere, and I'm not gonna be able to like display it right.
yeah.
But to answer your question, like I want it, but like I'm gonna have to see. We also don't know the price point of that. I'm assuming it's gonna be like $100 or something. I feel like because it's
No,
probably
no,
such
no.
a
No, I think they're like
did we get
40. They're $40.
really
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
for the movie poster one though?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
big
Because
Jurassic
it's
Park one, essentially,
yep.
right? Was the only one there. Okay, so then that's not bad. So that might actually
It's weirdly not that bad. I don't get where they get their pricing from. Like to me, that's like not a bad deal.
no, of course. At that point, yeah, I'll do that. It's cheaper than a diecast. Like, so I don't know. We'll see. Um, like we said, obviously Blacklight is kind of taking over this event in general, and another big blacklight drop, I guess, is going to be the Five Nights at Freddy's are supposed to drop some of their sodas. So there's a rumor that
Yep.
it's going to be like the next 6-pack cooler, which this is a pretty popular line when it comes to like Freddy and like kids and the game and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, I know nothing about it, but when Funko drops stuff for this, they usually go ham on this and they drop a bunch of different,
Yep.
things. They had those little action figures and plushies and stuff that recently came out. So now if this is the next soda one, I feel like that would, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to sell like the other ones. Like I think
Me
it's
either.
probably more of a flop, or maybe something that sits still on the site. But I guess, who knows? People do love sodas. People love blacklight sodas. I mean, they kind of go crazy over blacklight sodas, which I'm not as big of a fan. I like them, but when it's blacklight common, blacklight chase, I've said a million times I don't like that concept. But I don't know anything about these characters either. So like for me to even be excited about them at all, I'm not. But
I agree.
that's
It's a
another one that was just
big
kind
pass
of,
for me. Thinking more about it, they should have saved the Scooby Doo ones for this event. Because that
yeah,
totally
because they
fits
used all the villains and everything too
everything. It'd
specifically
be
in it. So
perfect. Um,
yeah.
but another blacklight now that I'm remembering that was definitely part of that list was all the Disney villains are all going to be black light. So I mean that is like, and it was a big line. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like another thing that like I think those are going to look pretty cool once again in blacklight, but they're just coming out. I don't want to keep saying it. There's just like way too many. And I know in the community, there's a lot of people who are hardcore, like, I need to get like they feel like it's been an obtainable like series slash set that they could like be completionists of.
Yeah.
And now they've turned it into like it's going to be hard to be a completionist just because it's like, do I really need to get these huge lines? Like they're turning
Yeah.
it into like a Marvel line.
Yeah. It's getting a little out of control. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's they look cool. I know we saw like an idea of what they're gonna be, the villains, and I mean, pretty big fan of like the way they usually do the molds of
They
the
look
Disney
cool.
villains. So they're probably gonna be awesome. They probably will fit like pretty good to Blacklight. But yeah, it's just one of those things that like now it's like you can't really be a completionist with this line anymore. Like you as easy as you probably were able to before. But good luck if you are trying to do that. Another little theme that I noticed, we're getting a lot of anime. So there was
Yeah.
a lot of anime. Some of it's just kind of more the theme, because some of these anime are kind of, I wouldn't call them horror, but they are more on that like level. So like they fit into like a Halloween style type of thing. I don't know if any of them were blacklight. But we are based off of the license. We're gonna get some Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Some Demon Slayer, some Tokyo Ghoul, some Death Note, which I didn't see exactly what those would be. I'm excited for that because I do love Death Note personally. But those were a few, I think, off the top of my head that I can see here that were all kind of like anime based that are supposed to be part of this line as well. So hopefully we do get some pretty cool stuff. I know we got a lot of listeners out there. Shout out to
Yeah.
Sensei, big anime fan. So hopefully we get some stuff that he likes announced, along with some more classic movies like Trick or Treat, It, Chucky, Gremlins. Like, those
Yeah.
are also all getting some lines.
Another line too that I think is coming out, which I believe they've never made pops for Lucifer, the show that
Mhm.
was on Fox and got canceled and got brought back by Netflix, that became like a massive hit for them. It has a really big cult following. I personally never watched the show, but this is one of those things where it's like, I think it's awesome they're making pops for this, for like a fandom that normally probably wouldn't be able to get any collectibles of anything. And
Mhm.
I think it's a perfect one for this event as well. So I think that those should be pretty cool.
Yep. Yep. That'll definitely be something unique and awesome. We're also getting, like, I think we always get this, the Simpsons Treehouse of
Yep,
Horror.
that's what I was
We
about to
usually
say.
always get a we usually always get a line during this time for Funkoween and Halloween time, where we'll get a pretty decent sized wave, usually of a bunch of different characters from the Simpsons. I don't really collect. I don't think I have any Simpsons pops actually. I'm a fan of Simpsons, but not like that hardcore. But that in itself, it's like a pretty big line now at this point, because they usually
It
come out
is.
with big waves, and then during cons, there's always like a couple of pops randomly that'll come out.
And
So
I remember
that's
when
one that's pretty cool.
seeing the list, like it was huge. I was surprised. I'm like, it's normally pretty big. But I'm like, this event in general, I think is gonna be bigger than it's ever been. I don't think it's
Yeah,
ever been. Maybe I'm wrong. I can't remember these days, but it has been spread out over that many days and with this much product. It
yeah,
just seems like a lot.
it is big. It's just like, I think the only thing that's like kind of the reason why they do it this way is because they also, it's like, it's not stuff that's like coming out now, like it's
Yeah.
for later in the year. They can kind of spread it out over the time, they can drop them here and there. And even if you think about some stuff that was kind of announced during last year's, some things we didn't get until this year
Yeah.
that were
Like
supposed to
the
be for last year.
Freddie
So
Funko
like,
soda.
yeah, so like stuff like that might happen. But it's interesting to see. Like, I just can't wait to see what they actually like, what we're like, these things will actually look like, to see if it's like more worth like trying to go after or not. But I like, based off of the licenses and stuff, like where they're going with it, because we even have some, Beetlejuice stuff, some Adams Family. And then I wonder if, like, so I know it says that there's also some Stranger Things stuff here. I know they've already kind of announced a bunch of
Yeah.
Stranger Things. Actually, there's already some Stranger Things that's already out. So it's interesting to see if there's going to be more like Halloween based or whatnot. But another one here that shows is Coco, which I believe we saw a rumor that there's supposed to be one with Coco, the grandmother,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
Miguel and
That
her in
one
like
looks
the
awesome.
wheelchair and stuff, which that would be pretty awesome. I think it's like a movie moment type of thing. If that's what they're saying by, saying that Coco will be one of them, then that totally, I'm all for that, because that'll be an awesome one. Definitely love that movie, and it being like an exclusive like that is really cool.
Yeah, and that'll actually be one out of all these that I'll probably cop. And then speaking of Disney, I think we're gonna just get, once again, they already have pops like this, but we're gonna get Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, like Halloween-esque ones. I don't remember what the images looked like if they ever were leaked, but we're gonna get just other Halloween versions of them. We seem to get those every year now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we usually do that. Like, there's a few of like certain movies and characters that we just get like a Halloween version of all the time.
yeah,
And like that'll be something. I feel like they do it a lot with like Disney characters and stuff. Like, we'll just get like a Halloween version.
they totally do.
So it'll be interesting if we get more of the classic ones or just like these specific movies. But I guess we'll see. But I think that was like the gist of everything as far as like licenses go. Some of these have some pretty big lines and waves in them, and then some of them are just kind of like a pop here and there, which I like that. I think it's interesting. It does give a mix of genre for like different types of fans. So because they're not only horror movies, which obviously we're getting a lot of those,
Yeah.
it at least opens it up to more people to get, like, a different, like a Disney character or something else that you wouldn't think initially was scary or Halloween, and getting a
Exactly.
version of it. So that'll be something that's pretty cool. So we'll definitely be looking out for this. Like I said, this will be dropping essentially, as these things start being announced. If you follow us over on Instagram at Collector Chatter, we usually try to post up as soon as we get these official pictures from like Funko and stuff on our stories, just kind of show off some of these drops. So make sure that you are paying attention, because we will, once we see them come out. I wonder if it's going to be like slowly, or we're going to get kind of just a bunch of different things, but like look out for these, because we'll make sure to show you guys, and then let us know what you guys think. If you guys see some of the drops before you watch our video, or even if you come back to the video, put your comments down below of some of the stuff that you guys are excited about, whether it's like a specific pop or a specific line that you got to see and you think it's going to look pretty cool, that's coming out for Funkoween, because we would love to see and hear, from you guys what you guys are definitely excited about, down
Yeah.
below.
And then once again, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, just make sure you come over, check us out on YouTube, give us a subscribe. We show a lot of images so you can get some visuals. It's not just the audio version. We really appreciate you supporting us on the podcast. But once again, if you come support us over on YouTube and give us a subscribe, likes, and interact with us in the community, that would be amazing. So with that being said, everyone just enjoy this event, and we'll talk to you next week.